Langston Hughes is a very important American, and his anti-prejudice message can be seen in other artwork beyond his own poetry. Hughes was born in 1902 and died in 1967. During those short 65 years, Hughes lived through 2 world wars and experienced a lot of prejudice. As a child, Hughes recalled not being allowed to enter a movie theater because he was black. He was kept out of an all-white birthday party, and even his own father encouraged Langston to leave the United States because his only hope for a job would be a bellhop or doorman. Instead of leaving the country or keeping quiet, Hughes expressed his negative feelings about black prejudice in the form of poetry, with language that every man and woman could understand. He did this so that he could raise awareness to the prejudice black people were facing in America. At the time Hughes was writing, the Harlem Renaissance was in full swing, and Langston Hughes's poetry was a part of that renaissance. Langston's negativity towards prejudice was not uncommon, and although the black community was experiencing more and more freedom, prejudice and mistreatment of blacks was still prominent. One night, while talking with my parents, we discussed other art forms where anti-prejudice feelings had been portrayed, and they mentioned a song recorded by Three Dog Night called Black and White. Upon further research, I discovered that this song was actually written in 1954 by Earl Robinson, who was a contemporary of Langston Hughes. In addition to that song, I recalled an inspirational movie called Remember the Titans. The movie is actually set in the 1970s, but still has anti-prejudice themes. As I read the words to the song Black and White, I hear phrases that praise unity between blacks and whites, mentioning that together they learn to read and write. Together they learn to see the light. Hughes has a similar connection in his poem Theme for English B, where in lines 29 through 33, he acknowledges that it is American that both black and white people are a part of each other. In the song Black and White, there is a clear impatience expressed when the lyrics sing, "At last we plainly see." A similar impatience can be seen in Hughes's The Bitter River, where Hughes expresses in line 87 that he is tired of the bars. He wants change, but needs it to happen. Interestingly enough, Three Dog Night put the words of the 1954 song to music in 1972, which was several years after it was written, but the music could reach more people because of the catchy tune. It was easy for people to understand, just like Langston Hughes' style of poetry. Ease of understanding through casual language would get the songwriter's message across. The thread is also evident today in the film Remember the Titans. Equality between blacks and whites is praised by high school football coach Herman Boone. The high school students in this movie are literally learning to read and write together. In the film, Coach Herman Boone forces the students to hang out with one of their teammates, but the teammate must be a different race. The coach opposes prejudice, and he wants to break down the barriers by encouraging the students to get to know one another as people, not by race. Hughes also voices that black students are not that much different than white students. In Theme for English B, on lines 21 through 26, he states that he likes the same things that white students like. This movie unintentionally connects to the song Black and White because it depicts the words of the song by visually creating a way for an audience to see what anti-prejudice really is like. Langston Hughes used poetry to express his negative feelings towards prejudice. Although poetry, songs, and movies are different forms of art, they have the ability to reach a large audience with an important message.